To ask the Scottish Government when the remaining £46 million of deferred funding from the agricultural budget will be returned.
Minister Jim Fairlie.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The 2024-25 budget returns £15 million in capital to provide important support to our rural communities, and the Deputy First Minister has committed to the returning of the remaining £46 million in full in future years. Now, the remaining ring-fenced funds will be returned in full at the right time for specific measures that will help to reform the transformation of Scotland's farming and food production industry. It doesn't impact on the existing commitments or schemes, and the appropriate profile for returning the remaining £46 million of ring-fence funding will be considered as part of future budget process.
Dr Sampson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. At some time gives no comfort to all our farmers. At the NFUS conference, the First Minister couldn't say when the £46 million would be returned to the agriculture budget. Since then, the Scottish Government has had an extra £295 million in Barnett consequentials from Westminster. So can the Minister tell us how much of this extra money will be going to repay the £46 million taken from our farmers?
Minister.
Presiding Officer, clear and honest, it never ceases to amaze me that the Tory party can come here and make comments about the £293 million, which is actually almost a couple of £100 million less than what there should have been for NFU, for National Health Service consequentials. £230 million of that money will go to the NHS in order to counter the cuts that we've already faced.
Members, let the Minister respond, please.
The phrase ring-fence money, that money has already been allocated, or will be allocated in the future. £15 million has been returned to the budget. The other £46 million will be coming in future budgets once the Scottish Government can work out its priorities after the savage cuts that have been made by the UK Tory Government.
Supplementary, Audrey Nicoll.
Does the Minister agree that capital investment is absolutely vital if we are to transform how we support farming and food production in Scotland, so that we help farmers and crofters invest in improved slurry storage and to take action to tackle climate-related issues like water scarcity and flooding? And how does the failure of the Westminster Tory Government to provide any additional capital for Scotland in the budget affect our plans to become a global leader in sustainable and regenerative agriculture?
Minister.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The UK Government failed to provide any additional capital funding for Scotland or our rural communities. Indeed, our capital budget is to be expected to fall by nearly 9% in real terms, a cumulative loss of over £1.3 billion to 27-28. Now, in contrast, the EU CAP provided a multi-annual programme budget over a 7-year period with flexibility to use capital or resource spend. The UK Government offers only yearly allocations that fail to provide adequate EU replacement funding or commitment on future spend on agricultural support, which requires long-term certainty. We need the clarity and the certainty from the UK Government about future rural funding after 25 right now, because right now we've got no idea whether it will be Tories or Labour. None of them are committing to supporting rural Scotland.
And supplementary, Liam MacArthur.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The Minister will be well aware how appalled those in the farming industry will be at the fact that he is unable to say when the money will be returned to the budget. Is, though, the Minister aware of any other budget being raided in this way within the Government's budget?
Minister.
I think Liam MacArthur is absolutely well aware that every budget has been under pressure because of the savage cuts that have come from the UK Government, and every Cabinet Secretary right across the Government are all trying to find ways to pull their horns in to make sure that we can deliver a balanced budget, as has been done every year since the SNP took government, balancing their budget every single year, so everybody's budget is under strain.